Welcome to part 2 of reading a viral TikTok book. Last week I uploaded a video of me just reading viral TikTok books and sharing my opinion on them. I also tell you guys if I think they're worth the hype that they get on TikTok or if they're not worth the hype. And a lot of you guys enjoyed that video, so I thought it would be fun to do a part 2 and just spend the week reading some viral TikTok books. If you haven't watched part 1, make sure that you go watch it. I'll have it linked down below for you guys. I feel like that reading vlog was pretty successful because the majority of the books that I read I thought were actually worth the hype that they get. So I'm really excited to start a new reading week and to see if the books that I'm reading this week are also worth the hype. We shall see. It's actually a little bit later in the day. I filmed the intro to this video and then got sidetracked with another video. Now I'm getting back to this one. The first book that I want to read for this vlog is Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. So I am cheating a little bit with this one because I actually started this book a few months ago. I can't remember if it was January or February, but I ended up DNFing it 150 pages in. I honestly could just not deal with how toxic the main characters were, and I really wasn't a fan of the two main characters' relationship. So if you're unfamiliar with this book, this is the first book in the Addicted series. I think that's what the series is called, Addicted. Yeah, Addicted series. This one follows Lily and Lauren. Lily is a sex addict and Lauren is a alcoholic. They have been friends since they were kids. Everyone in their family thinks that they're dating, but they're actually not dating. They're pretending to be in a relationship so their families don't find out about their addiction. Along the way, they actually end up realizing or confessing that they have feelings for one another. So they attempt to have a real relationship, but they're still battling their addiction. So it's a very toxic book. I DNF'd it, but I had always planned to go back. And when I told you guys that I DNF'd this book, so many of you commented telling me to just keep going because the other books in the series get better. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to try my best to finish up this book. Like I said, I DNF'd it about 150 pages in, I think. That's where my little post-it was. So I'm assuming that's where I left off. So I'm just going to start from the very beginning of chapter 17 and go from there. Like, I still remember what happened in the book, so I don't feel like I need to start from the very beginning. Also, I just don't want to put myself through all of that again. Maybe I'll end up loving it by the time I finish it. I don't know, but I hate DNFing books, so this is the first book that I'm going to read for today's vlog. Once you get past the 200 page mark, the book becomes a little bit more bearable. I'm at the point of the book where Lowen and Lily are actually trying to have a real relationship, even though they're still struggling with their addiction. So it's still toxic, but it's not as toxic as it was in the very beginning of the book. I won't say that I'm necessarily enjoying it, but it has become more bearable. I also understand that the whole point of the book is to see these two characters at their absolute worst, so then you can appreciate them when they do get the help that they need. I'm hoping that they eventually get the help that they need. I'm just going to assume that's what the other books are about. So I totally understand that this book is meant to be like super toxic and the characters are supposed to be super toxic for one another. Oh my god, there's something in my eye. It's just a little hard to get through, that's all. I just finished Addicted to You. I don't want to sound like a broken record, so I'm going to keep this review pretty short. I give this book like a 2 out of 5 stars. I didn't really like any of the characters in this book. I just can't get behind how toxic Lo and Lily are for each other. I did like the ending. The ending definitely made up for a lot of the issues that I had with the book. Like, I really liked how the author decided to end this book, and it kind of ends in a cliffhanger. So I do want to pick up the second book in the series because I do want to find out what's going to happen with these two characters. I just hope that the second book isn't as toxic and the two characters really focus on getting better. I hope that they focus on getting better, but you guys keep saying that the series gets better with each book, so I'm going to continue to give this series a chance. I'm going to pick up the next book and see how it is. For now, I'm not really understanding the hype behind this book or this series. I don't know if people just like to read about toxic people for entertainment. I don't know what the case may be, but yeah, this probably wouldn't be a book I would naturally gravitate towards, and I probably wouldn't have picked it up had it not been for book talk. For me personally, I don't really see the hype, but I'm glad I picked it up again and finished it this time around. Now I just have to go order the second book online and see what it's giving. Hopefully you guys are not steering me wrong, and hopefully the series does get better. Yes, I'm reading another Taylor Jenkins Reid book. If you would have told me last year that I would have bought 2 of her books, I would have laughed in your face. I would have been like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. Yet here I am about to read another book from her. In case you missed my last vlog that I uploaded a few days ago, I read Daisy Jones and the Six for the very first time and absolutely fell in love with that book. Everything about that book was perfection. I ended up giving it 5 stars. As soon as I finished reading Daisy Jones and the Six, I literally went on Amazon and ordered The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And again, I never thought in a million years that I actually would end up buying this book because the synopsis just does not sound interesting to me. But then again, the synopsis for Daisy Jones and the Six didn't sound interesting to me at all either, and I ended up loving that book. So I'm giving this one a chance, and I'm finally going to see what the hype is all about with this one. Inclusive Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. But when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant to write her story, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. Determined to use this opportunity to jumpstart her career, Monique listens in fascination, from making her way to LA in the 1950s to leaving show business in the 80s, and of course the 7 husbands along the way. Evelyn unspools a tool of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and a great forbidden love. But as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's own in tragic and irreversible ways. I'm so excited to start this, so let's just get right into reading. I thought I would be bored reading an interview or autobiography, I guess, about a person that doesn't really exist, which is why it took me so long to pick up this book. But it's actually very entertaining, and I'm kind of upset that Evelyn is not actually a real person. I want her to be real. There are like so many different layers to her character that just makes the book so entertaining and so captivating. Like, I literally have not wanted to put this book down. I feel like I'm literally living her life.
We used to have each other's playlists. No, used to be each other's best friends.
So I'm about to start reading about Evelyn's third husband. I hope that this guy is better than the first 2 because the first 2 were definitely not that great. For Evelyn's sake, I really hope that this guy treats her better. You might hear my washing machine because I just put a load of laundry in, but ignore that. Miss Evelyn does not let anyone get in her way. Like, if she wants something, she'll do everything in her power to get what she wants. I kind of admire that about her, but at the same time, she puts herself in like these situations where I wish she didn't have to do the things that she had to do in order to get what she wants. I'm trying to be as vague as possible so I don't ruin the book for you in case you haven't read it. But yeah, I just hate the things that she had to do in order to protect those that she loved and in order to protect herself. She's definitely made a lot of sacrifices along the way. Aside from all of that, her life is just so damn entertaining. Like, I am living for all the drama and for everything that has been happening. And might I just say that I absolutely adore Harry. Like, he has my absolute heart. I love him.
Now we go our separate pathways, but your heart's still in mine.
The ending. I was not prepared. Honestly, I was not prepared for the last 100 pages of this book. I'm speechless right now. This book wasn't what I expected it to be at all. It took me by complete surprise and I'm here for it. Absolutely love this book. Oh my god, what did I just read? A masterpiece. Why did it take me so long to read this book? Oh my god, so freaking good. What made this book so special were all the characters. Obviously, Evelyn was the main character, like she's telling her story. In her story, there's obviously other characters and there's other people involved. And I liked how every single character has so many layers to them and they were so complex that even if you wanted to hate them, you kind of understood why they were the way that they were. The book was just so captivating. The storytelling was just 10 out of 10. I honestly felt like I was living Evelyn's life, like I was right there with her, feeling all of her emotions, living all of her experiences. And it's crazy to me that this character is not actually real, that this isn't actually based on a true story. That is so insane to me, but it just shows you how good of a job Taylor Jenkins Reid did with this book. Like, I think I like this book more than Daisy Jones and the Six, and that's saying a lot because I absolutely love that book. Wow, I can't believe it took me this long to read this book. Like, I'm so mad at myself. This book was so freaking good. Yeah, I felt so many emotions while reading this book. I mainly felt sad for a lot of the characters that felt like they had to, I even felt like they had to hide who they truly were because of the time period that they lived in. And it made me sad that they never really got to show the world who they truly were. I honestly don't know what else to say. Like, if you couldn't tell, I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. I have no complaints. This book will live in my mind rent-free for a very long time. I feel like I'm going to be thinking about this book forever, and I truly understand the hype now. I get it. This book deserves all the hype that it gets. So good. Another day, another book. Today, I'm finally going to be reading Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. This is the second book in the Knockmount series. I read Things We Never Got Over. When did I read that book? I think in January? I don't remember, but I really enjoyed it. And this one actually came out this year, I believe. So it's a newer book. Yeah, this one came out this year. So this one is a lot newer than the other 2 books that I've read so far for this vlog. A lot of people have been praising it. I've been seeing it all over Book Talk. So I'm finally going to be giving it a try. Hopefully it's just as good as the first one. Like I said, I really enjoyed Lucy Score's writing in Things We Never Got Over, which I didn't think I was going to like that book at all, but I ended up loving it. Are we seeing a pattern here? I feel like whenever I think I'm going to love a book, I end up hating it. And then when I think I'm not going to like a book, I end up loving it. But anyways, this one, he's got his hands full with the man who shot him still on the loose, healing wounds, and citizens that think of the law as more of a guideline. Throw in the gloomy mood that clings to him, and the last thing he needs is a smart mouth, gorgeous new neighbor, making him feel things he doesn't have the energy to feel. Lena has her reasons for being in town. She's on a mission, and the fewer people that find out about it, the better. She does her best, work alone, and as soon as she finds what she's after, she's hitting the road for the next solo adventure. Too bad the town of Knockmount has other ideas. Soon Lena finds herself sucked into small town life. But when Nash finds out why she's there, flirty friends become furious enemies. The sparks flying don't know the difference between lust and hate. When danger forces them together, it's only a matter of time before they both get burned. Don't really know what to expect with this one, but let's get to reading, you guys. I just got to chapter 10 and I'm about 110 pages in. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bored with the storyline so far. I don't know why, but I'm just having a hard time getting into this book and connecting with the characters, even though I loved them in the first book. And this one, I'm just like struggling. Like, I like the characters, there's nothing wrong with them, but I don't know, I feel like I'm struggling to get into the book. Maybe it's because it's so slow, but I'm hoping that it picks up soon. Like, I'm literally about to fall asleep here reading this book because I'm that bored. Time for a little update. I'm not gonna lie, it's taken me a few days to get through this book. This is definitely not a book that I personally have been able to read in one sitting, just because I don't find it that great. which I hate to say that, but yeah, I'm still having a hard time connecting with this book. I'm like halfway done with the book at this point. It has picked up a little bit, just a tad, but I'm still not invested in the characters. Don't get me wrong, I love Lena. I love how she is such a badass and she doesn't take any shit from anyone or anything, and she stands up for herself. I love her character. I'm just having a hard time liking Nash for the same reasons I had a hard time liking Knox in the first book. I feel like they're basically the same character. They're both very grumpy, although they're grumpy for different reasons. Like in the first book, Nash wasn't as big of a grump as Knox was, but because he got shot in the first book, he's dealing with a lot of trauma from getting shot at, which is totally understandable, but I just don't really like how possessive he is towards Lena, especially since he's only known her for a few weeks. So I'm struggling to root for their romance. I just wish he wasn't so grumpy. Like, I understand him having to deal with his trauma and having to deal with all of his issues, but at the same time, let Lena be the badass that she is meant to be. Like, don't try to protect her from every little thing when she doesn't really need protection. I don't know. It's also very early in the morning right now. I don't know if you guys can hear my morning voice, but if you like slow burners, then this is the book for you because it is quite slow. Not me literally crying to the ending of this book. It got me. It got me. I finally finished Things We Hide from the Light. I think in my last clip I told you guys that it has taken me a few days to finish this book because one, it's really long. It's a thick ass book for no reason, and two, because I just really wasn't invested in this book at any point in time of me reading it. There's a dog going crazy in the hallway. So I felt like I was reading a book with Knox 2.0. I truly do not see the appeal of Nash. Like, I loved him in the first book and I thought that this was going to be a different take on like the grumpy character, but I kind of found him annoying at times and didn't really vibe with his character. Again, I mentioned this before, but I absolutely loved Lena. I have no complaints regarding her character, and I loved the other side characters as well. I love that the characters from the first book kept making an appearance in this book, and I still really appreciated the small town vibe. Really liked how everyone in the town kind of came together and had each other's backs. But that's pretty much all I enjoyed of this book, was the small town vibe and the side characters. I really didn't care for Nash and Lena's love story, which is a huge letdown obviously because this is a romance and the romance book is focused on their love story. And maybe it's because it's way too long. This book is like 580 pages or something like that. 574 pages, and it has no business being this long. Honestly, I feel like it could have gotten to the point a lot quicker. Maybe I would have actually enjoyed it a lot more had it been shorter. It definitely wasn't a hit. It's definitely a book that I'm not going to think about ever again. I will say that I am looking forward to reading Lucian, is that how you pronounce his name, and Sloane's love story. Honestly, I wanted the second book to revolve around their love story. I didn't really care for Nash, but I'm really excited to read Lucian's and Sloane's love story because I feel like they have so much chemistry. I hope he's not the exact same replica as Knox and Nash. Like, I don't want to read another book where the male main character is exactly the same. He can be grumpy, but make him a little bit more complex. Make his character have more layers than just being a grumpy man. Yeah, so I hope that the third book is the best one yet. I'm definitely going to pick it up because, like I said, I really want to read those characters' love story. This one was really meh for me. Didn't really give me what I thought it was going to give me. Didn't really meet my expectations, if I'm being honest. I do think the cover is really pretty, but other than that, I don't really think I'm ever going to think about this book again, you guys. So for that reason, I think I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. I don't know, that may be pushing it. Maybe a 2.5. I need time to think about it, but right now I'm debating between a 2.5 and a 3-star rating feeling for this one. I am not really understanding the hype. I know that a lot of people like this one over the first one. I can't really see or understand why. Let me know in the comments if you actually enjoy this one more than the first one. I'm interested to hear your take on why that is. But yeah, this was definitely meh. Quick little recap. Obviously, the winner of today's vlog was Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The Addicted to You book was very meh for me. Don't understand the hype. And then Things We Hide from the Light was another very meh book. So the only book that I actually think is worth the hype is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I definitely would recommend that book. If you haven't read it yet, definitely pick it up. But the other two, I would probably just not even bother reading. I'm just kidding. I always recommend for everyone to read the books that they want to read and to formulate their own opinions, just because you never know what you'll like until you actually like read the book. And never judge a book by its cover like I tend to do, and it always backfires on me. If you want to read any of these books, read them and form your own opinions. You may agree with me or you may disagree with me. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have on that, and I think I'm going to end off today's vlog here. So I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you on my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.